In June of 16, a little over a year, about a year and a half ago, I was on a road trip and started peeing blood. And it was like pretty serious. So I couldn't ignore it, couldn't not tell my wife, like a typical guy would try to do. And it kept getting worse. So I called her that night and filled her in as to what was going on. And she actually had previously worked for our urologist. So she was texting him and trying to figure out what was going on. So when I got back, they had things all set up where they could go and do a cystoscopy and go up inside and take a look and see what was going on. Well, when we did that a couple of days later, we found out that the inside of my bladder was completely full of tumors. It was like, he said it was like 95% full. I mean, it was nuts. And we could actually see on the screen as we were doing this test, and I couldn't necessarily see the screen while I was laying there, but I saw both their faces, and I knew from looking at Keelan that this was not a good thing. So he actually wanted to do surgery on me, like almost immediately, and because we kind of had our foot in the door, he could have done surgery in like a few days. Well, thank God, I was on blood pressure medication and I was taking aspirin, so because of that, he couldn't do surgery for like a couple weeks. So that gave us a couple of weeks to start researching natural cures and so on, and treatments and remedies for cancer. And in that research, I found a guy who lives in Dubai. Him and his wife had gone through his cancer was almost exactly like I had. So she was able to treat it naturally. We friended them and started doing lots of different treatments. There are several things you can try. You know, when you're attacking cancer, you can't just do it one direction. You have to attack cancer from all directions. And that's not only, you know, with treatments and so on, but just mentally, spiritually, you pretty much, you know, it's a real gut check. So we found several things that we started to do. And we found, first of all, sugar is the number one no-no, if people don't know that. I used to live on sugar and carbs. You know, when I traveled on the road a lot, I kept Burger King in business, is what I used to say. This was like last summer, and we had to, first of all, do a surgery. The only way to get tumors out of your bladder is for the urologist to go inside. He basically uses a special kind of a laser type tool and burns them out of there. So it's not a real pleasant thing, but thank goodness they put me out for that. And in the last year, we've been through 4 or 5 surgeries now. The first couple were pretty intense, got quite a bit better on the third, and so on. In this process of changing our diet and so on, Keelan just felt like, you know, we just couldn't get enough greens in me. You know, there was just no way you could eat enough to rebuild my immune system, because we found that that's what's wrong. So that's about the time Jamie and Keelan got together, and Jamie introduced us to this. And then after starting on this, she immediately got us on a phone call with Dr. Du Bois in Atlanta. And that was wonderful. You know, at the time, we'd been researching quite a while, and then we knew you could do this or you could do that, and we weren't quite sure. We had some questions about things. Well, he spent about a half an hour on the phone with us and just basically walked us through and said, okay, you're doing this right, you're doing this right, you're doing that right. And when it came to the Juice Plus, he said, you need to at least double up. He said, you know, if you can do triple, do that. So I immediately started working my way up to taking 4 of each, which I did for, I think it was about 5 months, maybe 6 months. And then actually when earlier in the year, we saw him when we were at the convention in California, and it was kind of strange. He came up to me and he says, hold out your hand. So I hold out my hand, and he starts poking and on my palm, and he's looking at the color of my skin. He goes, oh, you're good. And I was like, And that was it. I was like, what? What do you mean I'm good? He says, well, I'm looking at the color of your skin. He said, it has a real orangish cast to it. He said, you'll really notice that if you look in an old photograph and a newer photograph. And he was right. So what he was saying was that I was, at the time he said, I think you should take more. So we bumped it from 4 to 6. And from that time on, it's made a huge difference. So I take 6 of each capsule every day. And plus I have a shake or 2 a day, a bar if we're traveling. I have basically just changed to a plant-based diet. We still eat some chicken and a little meat and so on, but I don't really crave it and so on. But we've come a long ways. I guess I feel like God has blessed me with this healing, and my new mission in life is to not let others go through what I did. And I'm just trying to help people. And when Jamie's been helping us along, and she's been wonderful, and the same with Sharon, I really, through a lot of this, I was still doing treatments and surgeries and so on, and I just kept trying to get customers, just trying to help people. And it's amazing how all of a sudden it's just like mushroomed on me. And all of a sudden it's starting to go kind of crazy. So it's just been quite an experience. But you have questions? I don't know what else to say. I don't have a 5-minute prepared speech here.
It's okay. It's okay because we just wanted to hear your part. I have a question for you. What did your doctor say when they saw the improvement in your health?
Well, Dr. Palmgren is our urologist, and that's basically who we're seeing, who we're using for this. I actually have a recording of him and Keeland from our last surgery, which was about 3 weeks ago now. And I actually have it posted on my Facebook channel, on my timeline. He's completely surprised. He's told Keeland that the inside of my bladder looks like I'm a 30-year-old and I'm nearly 60. And we've gone through so much. Usually there's a lot of scarring, scar tissue, all of that from all of these surgeries that I've been through, because some of these things we've done haven't been real pleasant. I'll put it that way. So yeah, does that answer your question?
So from your point of view, how do you share the business with other men? I don't mean to insult you guys, but you're a little bit harder to convince and deal with. So do you have any tips for all of us?
I honestly do not share the business with anybody other than people who are customers. Okay. I feel like, and from what I've heard, the statistics I think probably prove this out, that the majority of your reps are going to come from satisfied customers. So my whole goal is more, customer orientated than actually trying to recruit people. Yeah, it's usually, in some cases I have a couple of people that, I try to tell them, look, if we can just get you to a certain level, then at least it's going to be paying for your product each month. So why not just get the free product, do a little bit of work for a month or two, and if you don't want to do more, you don't have to.
Okay. So, I have a customer who is, and it's my ex-sister-in-law. Her mother has stage 3 ovarian cancer.
Okay.
I just got her to order the capsules. She'll be getting them the end of the week. Do you think, I know that she needs to take more than 2 a day. And I have this fear that if I come from, well, you need 4, you need 6, it's going to be either overwhelming or you're just trying to sell me more. Do you think getting Dr. Du Bois, and what's your suggestion on how I can get her to take more?
Okay, and I've done this for lots of people on our team here. If you go to my website, brentwallace.com, BrentWallace, I have several blog posts. The first one you'll find is my cancer story. Send them there. Okay. It basically tells the whole story. I've tried to, update it and stuff like that as we've gone along, so you can kind of get a pretty good idea. The other thing is there will be links from there that go to my Facebook. If you go to my Facebook and scroll back and so on, I pretty much have been an open book about all this from the beginning. I actually need to take a little time and go back and reorganize and take some of those old posts from way back and move them probably over to a page so I can kind of have a history of all that for people. But yeah, I am more than willing to talk to somebody too, especially with cancer. I mean, that's just, they're going to hear it so much different from me being, going through this, but also sometimes it doesn't really matter. It's just, you got to have that third party that, they can't hear it from you. They got to hear it from somebody else.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you, Brent.
You bet.
If we friend you on our Facebook page, on your Facebook page, will you respond? And then is the video that you have available to share so that I can send it to friends to look at
Oh,
and
yeah.
to watch?
Oh, you bet. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Any of that information, you're more than willing to share. I mean, I just look at it like, if I can help you guys help other people, that's just reaching more people that need, better health. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
You bet.
Amazing story, and obviously I've walked the same path you walked, and you're so right that people just need to hear from somebody who can actually relate to what they've been through. Obviously, you're extremely passionate about the product, and you've done very well in the business, which is great. Being from corporate America, I mean, I used to be in corporate America as well. Now, I mean, I know that you're doing this to help people, which is awesome, but you're also changing people's lives financially because they are getting in, like Danny and some other people. So what do you think of the business model itself compared to what you've been in with corporate America?
Well, what I like about Juice Plus, let me back up a little. I've been in a couple of businesses in the past over the years. In fact, this is weird. When Jamie went to sign me up for Juice Plus, she couldn't figure out what was going on with my account. Well, I didn't know it, and she didn't either, but back in 1992 or 93, I was a rep when they had the water filters at NSA. And I had no clue. It was like, wow, okay.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So
who would have ever known, right?
Exactly. It surprised me too. It's like, okay. So, I guess what I like, we were in Nerium. We're still in Nerium. My wife she really was, I don't know if you know about the skincare and so on.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I like the Nerium product is the EHT, which is the brain supplement. That's one of the things you'll read on my blog post that I take every day. I actually double up and take 2 of those. With going through all the treatments and so on, it's really affected my memory, and the EHT has really, really helped. So, but the Nerium itself, when I compare the businesses, they're so different because Nerium, like most of these types of network marketing businesses, are going after reps. They're going after people. I'm not going after that. And that's what I really relate to with Juice Plus is I'm just helping people by going after customers. And sure, I'm going to be compensated for that, but I don't care if you buy something at Walmart, somebody's still making a profit on that somewhere down the road. I guess I've never understood why people, you hear this is just a scam thing or a pyramid or whatever, and it's like, oh my God, wouldn't you rather just support your friend than that big local or that big business down the street?
Right.
I don't understand that. So.
Right. I totally agree. Well, what I liked about it was the fact that by building a residual income, at least I'm giving my family, because like you, I didn't really know in the beginning, am I going to be here? Am I not going to be here? What's going to happen? Can I provide a secondary source of income for them? And
Sure.
Now that I have this, I will say it has given me such relief knowing that it's there for my family, if something doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So. Well, thank you. Your story is amazing, and I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy that you got your scans. When you posted that on Facebook about having clear scans, I think all of the group was just jumping up and down because that is the best news ever.
What's been weird since then, actually it was for the last 2-3 weeks, and it's been a lot better the last week or more, it's taken me just mentally, it's been really an adjustment because I was just pounding away every day at that cancer. And all of my strength, all of my energy, I know was going to fight that disease. So when you finally get the all clear signal, it's kind of like, okay, now what? So that's been just kind of a mental adjustment
Yes,
for
to
me.
be breathe again and to be able to. That is as powerful as your original story, because once you get the all clear, like Jamie did, so many years ago. I mean, it's like my life is starting again, and you're so blessed, Brent, that you are deciding to go on to this path of helping other people, both with their health, because your story is amazing. And also, sometimes we forget that we need financial help and health also. They kind of go together. So when you're helping somebody and getting healthier, you're actually helping them financially to maintain good health.
That's a good point. And that brought up my memory here of when I have traveled on the road for so many years, I made good money, but I had to be out working. And if I wasn't out working, there wasn't any money coming in. And I'll be honest, I haven't been able to travel for the last year and a half. That's been a major financial hit. So I was looking at this like, if we can get this to a point where it's consistent every month and it continues to grow, then, this is really a win-win for me. I'm kind of transitioning from an old job to a new job, really.
Right. And, it's really interesting. I've been doing Juice Plus for 18 years. And I just recently, in my mind, put the two together. I'm so much about helping other people get healthy, and that's still our main focus. But to get people, like I mentioned before, financially healthy is just as important, because maybe, Brent, you can't do the things that you used to do. Maybe you still can. But to have this option of this business as your plan B, thank God you do have a plan B so that you can successfully move forward, in this world. I mean, we have to have money, and it's equally important. And you never can prejudge someone else, knowing that this may not be something that they need also along with the good.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, there's this whole journey, the journey's not over. I mean, actually, I still have another 3 years of maintenance and follow through and so on. But I know in my heart that I'm over the hump. We've come miles from where we began. I mean, when we began, the tumors were completely full. They were actually starting to grow through the lining of my bladder. If they were to get through there, it was muscle invasive. If it gets through that, then the cancer can metastasize anywhere. So, but I know now, because of what we've done, I can control that. And the major control that I have is through Juice Plus now.
I just want to congratulate you, Brett. God is good. And
Yeah, thank you too. That was an amazing story. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, a huge portion of my healing, and this continues on daily, has been mental and spiritual. I am a completely different, better person than I was 15 months ago. I've lost 50 pounds along the way, which is a good thing. And I know that I still have a road that I have to go down, and I've got to build my strength up, and my stamina is not, I haven't had any stamina. So we've still got a ways to go, but I know deep in my heart that I just need to continue on down the same path that I'm going, and that it's just such a relief to know that what we did actually worked. And I feel like I've kind of, we kind of took what someone else did a few years back and magnified it. By taking the extra Juice Plus, it's just really, I can look back and And I just feel this huge difference from when I went from 4 to 6 capsules. It just, for some reason, I mean, honestly, everything Dr. Du Bois said has come to pass exactly like he said it would. So we're very, very grateful and very thankful to God above.